Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to do a slightly different kind of video. This is not exactly a tutorial. This is more of a first impressions slash get ready with me kind of video. I've got a couple of new products to test out. Some of these I have been using since the past couple of days, and some of these I'll be using for the first time today on video. So I just thought I'll share with you a couple of new launches, my thoughts on these, and also do a look using these new products. So I hope you will enjoy this video, and let's get started. So I'm going to use my Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place makeup. I'm going to be using the shade Cashew, and the brushes that I'm going to be using today are from Coastal Scents. This is the brush Affair in Orchid. It basically comes in a black leatherine package like this. It opens up like a brush roll. The packaging is quite sturdy and nice. You've got 22 brushes here. I'm sorry, I forgot to lift up the flap. Okay, so you've got 22 brushes here. You've got the face brushes on this side and the eye brushes on this side. Some of the brushes are missing right now because I have been using them quite a bit, but the others are new. The quality of the brushes is great. The handles are made of bamboo. You've got really soft, super soft synthetic bristles. So I'm going to start with foundation. I have got my Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation. And the only criticism I have for these brushes is that they're not labeled, so you can just tell from the shape what it's supposed to be. But for reference, when I want to tell you what brush I'm using, because there's no label, there's no name, it's really hard to tell you. But you can see this is the flat foundation brush. I'm using this to apply the foundation to my face. The Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation is not new to me. I've been using it since October, I believe, last year. This is a medium coverage foundation. It gives a very natural looking, very skin-like, satiny matte finish, and I think the coverage is really ideal. It gives you a very flawless look without covering up your skin. I've done a full review on my blog, so you can check that out. And now I'm just going in with the buffing brush from the same brush kit, and this just gives a very nice, very even finish. The other brush gives a slightly streaky finish. You do have to go in either with the fingers, with a sponge, or with a buffing brush like this. So foundation is done. I'm going to now use concealer, and the one I'm using is by Shiseido. This is the Perfecting Stick Concealer. Now I've had this for a couple of months, but I haven't really worn it much because the shade is much lighter than my skin. I was sent this for review, so I didn't get a chance to pick out the shade, but I really like Shiseido base makeup products, so I thought let's give this a try. I think it'll be better if I use the brush directly, because the stick is quite thick and wide and the concealer is just all over the place. So this is a really creamy concealer, and it seems to be pretty good on the coverage. Obviously it's quite light for me, so this is not something I can wear on one of my minimal makeup days where I'm just using concealer directly and no foundation. This is something I can use for a more highlighted effect where I'm using a lighter shade concealer in that triangle kind of shape. But if I use this on its own in the under eye area, it's going to give me a very ashy and grayish look because it's quite light for me. But because I'm wearing foundation underneath and then applying this on top, it's not giving me that grayish cast. Instead, I'm getting that highlighted look. So I've done my other eye as well, and I'm going to apply a bit of this in the center of my forehead and a bit down the bridge of my nose. I might as well do the whole Kardashian style highlighting. Now before I use a powder to set everything, I'm going to use the Colorbar All Day Waterproof Eyeshadow Stick. This is a new launch. It's basically a twist up eyeshadow crayon. This is the shade Fairy, which I'm going to use to highlight. It's basically a pale beige color. It might be a little pinkish for me, but I want to just see how it works as a highlighter on my cheekbones. So I'm just applying this here on my cheekbone, also under the brow bone, and I'm just going to use my finger to blend it. I have tested these on the eyes and they are quite long wearing, and they set really quickly to a smudge proof and waterproof finish. So if you want to use these blended on the skin, like I'm using this as a highlighter, you would need to work really quickly because it just becomes smudge proof really quickly. So I can really tell that I've got a nice glowy highlight on my cheekbone, and it doesn't seem too pinkish or too cool toned for me. Just doing that to the other side too. Just using a little bit on the bridge of my nose as well, and a bit on the inner corners. So I'm now going to set things with powder, and I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me powder for this, and one of the fluffy powder brushes from the brush kit. I feel like I've probably waited too long to set this concealer because it's beginning to crease already. So I think this is one of those concealers that need to be set really quickly, otherwise they start creasing after 2 minutes. The Fit Me powder, my Maybelline, is meant for normal to dry skin. It's not a very dry kind of powder. So on the bright side, it doesn't give you a very powdery look, but on the downside, it doesn't give very good oil control. And to complete the contour, I'm going to use the Bahama Mama Bronzer by theBalm. One of my favorites. You've seen me use this so many times. And I'm using this small brush from the kit for this step. So I'm using this to contour with. I'm using this to sculpt my jawline as well. So I've done my basic face. I'm going to come back for blush after I have done my eye makeup, just because I don't want to put on too much blush, and once my eye makeup is done, realize that it's too much. So we're going to start with the eye makeup now, and I've got a couple of new products to try. So for the eyes, I'm going to start with the Colorbar eyeshadow crayon. This is the shade Ornament, slightly deeper color than the one I used for highlighting. It's a slightly bronzy kind of neutral. It's got a bit of shimmer. And because the color is so close to my skin, this is something that works really well as a single wash everyday wear eyeshadow. So you can barely tell I've got eyeshadow. It just catches the light a little bit, reflects a little, and this is something I would definitely recommend for everyday wear. So these Colorbar eyeshadow crayons do feel creamy, but they're not the creamiest crayons I've tried. I feel like they could be just a little bit creamier. I'm going to be using a new palette for this look, and this is the Zoeva Warm Spectrum palette. It's got quite a few warm colors. I'm going to start with this soft brown matte. The only thing missing is a mirror. It would have been quite convenient if this had a nice large mirror. So this color is going to go in the crease, and I'm using that same angled brush that I'd used to smudge my eyeshadow crayon. Then I'm going to go in with this darker brown, and I'm using this on the outer V. And to do some more blending work, I'm using this bigger, kind of fluffier dome brush. And then for the lid, I'm going to go in with this teal brown duochrome color. It is easily the most interesting color in the palette, so I have to try it out. And I'm going to put this on the lid. And I'm not putting like a lot of it. I just want a sheer wash of it, because I don't want to do a very colorful look. I still want a neutral look, and I think that Colorbar eyeshadow crayon is still going to sparkle through a little bit if I just put a sheer wash of this eyeshadow. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave the eyeshadows at that. And for my lower waterline and lash line, I'm going to use a liner from Clinique. So this is the Clinique Skinny Stick eyeliner. As you can see, it's a really thin, very fine liner, and it's perfect for doing really skinny, fine, thin lines. And the shade I have is a very pretty olive color. It's called Olive-tini. It's number 4. And this is not a retractable kind of crayon. It just goes one way. And I have used this a couple of times before. Actually, I think just twice. And the color is really pretty on the lower waterline. And this is also quite smudge proof and long lasting. And I'm just using my finger to give it a slightly softer look. And for my top lash line, I'm going to use the Colorbar Just Smoky Kajal in the shade Just Brown. This is a really pretty, slightly shimmery brown. And I love brown eyeliners because I think they just look so flattering and they're so easy to wear. So I've applied this somewhat thickly along my upper lash line, and I'm just going to use the smudger at the end to smoke it out a little bit. Now with that done, I'm going to do my lashes and brows. First, I'm going to use the NATIO Dramatic Lashes Mascara. Just giving my lashes a good curl using the Shu Imura eyelash curler. For the brows, I'm going to use the brow pencil from Colorbar. This has got a spoolie at the end, which is really useful, and I wish all brow pencils had that. Now I have used this a couple of times, and I'm not the biggest fan of this brow pencil, to be honest, because it's extremely creamy, which is not something you want in a brow pencil. A brow pencil needs to be a bit dry, a little bit waxy maybe, so that it just catches on to the hair and the skin and stays put all day. And it should not be this creamy. Like this actually feels more like a kohl pencil than a brow pencil. And if you use a little extra pressure with this, you would end up with really heavy looking brows, which is why I think maybe they need to reformulate this, make it a little drier, a little less pigmented, be a lot easier to use then. So now we're going to come back to the cheeks. My eye makeup is done, and I quite like the warm brown with a bit of an olivey green touch that has come out with that duochrome eyeshadow. For the cheeks, I'm going to use this palette by Zoeva. This is called the Coral Spectrum palette. And you can see the packaging is very similar to the eyeshadow palette I've used. This is basically all part of the same collection. And this is a really beautiful palette. It's got 4 colors here. It's got a very nude earth tone shade with a matte finish. Then it has this very pretty warm pink, and this one has got a bit of shimmer. Then this is a bright pink, and then this is a softer coral pink. So I'm going to use I'm not sure which one to use. I think I'm first going to try out that nude earth tone shade, and let me see how that looks on my skin tone. So I'm just going to mix in a little bit of that shimmery, warm kind of coral color. Then I'm just going to go in with that big powder brush that I had used for applying my pressed powder, and I'm just going to swirl it like that on my cheeks, just to ensure that everything is well blended. And then coming to the last step, that is the lips, I have got a new launch from Colorbar. So this is the Diamond Shine Lip Gloss. This is a new launch. I believe there are 6 or 8 shades available. I'm not sure, but I'll put that in the description box. So the shade I've got is called Nude Glow, and it's a peachy pink color. The name is Diamond Gloss. It contains quite a bit of shimmer, and I'm not that fond of shimmer in my lip products, so I'm not sure how this will look. Let's give it a try. Slightly sticky in texture, and the pigmentation is not too heavy. It's not pigmented enough to kind of cover up uneven lips, and the shimmer actually doesn't look too bad. When I had first swatched this on my hand, I, to be honest, didn't really like it. I thought the shimmer was a little heavy. It doesn't really feel very heavy on the lips. Even when I rub my lips together, I don't really feel like gritty, chunky shimmer. The shimmer is definitely visible. It doesn't look cheap or very chunky, but you can see that there is another element that's adding that shine to the lips. For people who prefer glosses over matte lip colors, this is a really nice option. And this color is quite nice for evening wear, I think, for parties, etc. Especially if you like to highlight your eyes and you want something just very subtle but still a bit party-like on your lips, then I think this is really nice. So that is my finished look. I quite like how this turned out. It's not too heavy, it's not too dramatic. The face is quite on the nude side, but still warm colors, which I really like. And I really like the hints of green on the eyes, so I think this is a look that I would probably be wearing again. If you've tried any of these new launches, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, if you want to see more of these kind of videos where I'm trying out new products and then just talking you through with a first impression or a review of the product, if you enjoy this format, do let me know below in the comments, because I do get products sent to me for review, so I could do this kind of video maybe every other week or maybe once a month, depending on how many new launches I have to share. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Do let me know your feedback in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you all soon in my next video. Bye.